That ties right in. Come on, man.
Mm.
Not looking for it. Yeah, we're talking about
Thought life. A new day is dawning. No longer do we have to settle for less. When we demand more of ourselves and think with an elevated purpose, we'll embrace the positives, reject the negatives, so we can live a much more purpose-driven, meaningful life. Alright. Now's the time, let's elevate our minds. Make wise decisions that are right. Cause responsible thinking will lead us from darkness and into the light. Haunting thoughts of doubt and pain and despair it weighed me down. But resilience stirred up and then my strength it came around. With every new step we're taking, fear just fades away. The path to redemption takes me to a higher place. Now's the time, let's elevate our minds.
welcome, everybody. Glad you're here. I'm so excited. It's my great pleasure to have. Woo, man! Come on, man. Hey, man. God does things, man. I swear. You just cannot express the gratitude that I have, man, for somebody I looked up to for so many years, man. And we've seen each other. Went to high school together, bro. And like, anyway, let me. If you don't know, let me tell you who this man is. This man is Andre Taylor. He's the founder and CEO of the Not This Time Foundation. He's also the visionary behind the initiative 940, which holds police accountability. And the list goes on and on, you know what I'm saying, about his commitment to greatness. I can't really go too far into it because first of all, if I was to do all of his accolades, it would take up half the show. So I just want to let you know if you can take my word for it personally, I've watched this man. He's always been a deep dude. Like he's never been this shallow kind of cat, man. And he's taught me so much about the possibilities of what a man is, what a real man is. And based on his past and his future, man, he's grounded in the spiritual depth that only leaders can really embrace and maintain. And that's the part that I think is important for us is that Andre Taylor,
My man, I love you, boy.
Yeah,
For real,
man.
I mean that.
you my guy,
Man, I'm grateful to be here, man. I don't do a lot of interviews, but when you asked me, I said, man, it's my loved one. I'm about to come on and we about to bless the audience.
Well, what I want to do is I wanted to kind of like dive in a little bit to like the fact that from what I know and what you've shared with me is that you always had a male role model that was always speaking prosperity and manhood into your existence as the standard from a young age, right?
Yes.
And so what I would like for you to do, if possible, man, is like explain to me and the listeners like how that impacted the way that you think and has set the tone to challenge yourself to live up to that expectation of your father.
A lot of people know me from the movie American Pimp, and that's a documentary by the Hughes brothers. They did The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. They also did From Hell with Johnny Depp, and they also did their first movie was Menace to Society. That's how they came on the scene. And their father was at the lifestyle, and they wanted to venture down this road of this subculture. See, the Black community is a subculture, and the game is what is called in the streets, the pimp life or whatever, is a subculture within that, like the mafia, where there's rules, regulations, and guidelines by which you operate by. So in the movie that actually went to theaters around the country, right? Just a small amount of theaters, but it actually went to theaters. And there was a part in the movie that I said that resonated with a lot of people. I said, my daddy told me that before you are a doctor, a lawyer, a pimp, that you got to be a man first, right? You got to be a man of integrity, a man of character, a man of principles. And I think that really shocked people because they never thought that an individual coming from that subculture in the streets would have that type of ideology about manhood, but my father did. Let me share this with you. One thing my father told me at a young age is, I share this often, he says, son, I got two things that I expect from you. I said, okay, Dad, what you expect from me? He said, the first one that I expect from you as a young black man in a country that is a lot of times opposed to you, right? With all the disadvantages and challenges you might have as a young black or African-American male, I expect for you to finish the race, son. The race of life, I expect for you to finish it. I was like, oh man, I can do that. Pops is nothing. Wow. He said, I had two expectations. I said, okay, what's the next one? He said, my next expectation of you, son, is for you to finish the race first. And I was like, that kind of blew me away. Like, finish the race first. Like, what? But my dad was genius because he knew in order for me to fulfill what his desire of me was, is that I would have to bring the genius outside of me to produce what his expectations were, right? And that's what I find a lot of times in our community, is that there is no expectation for the black man. Right. If there's any, the expectation is for you to treat your woman bad or call your woman out her name, or for you to kill somebody that looks like you, or for you to rob and murder. There's no high level expectation of the black male. And when you're coming out of an environment that no one expects anything from you, a lot of times you accept that, hey, there's no expectation of me to be great. I might as well be whatever they expect me to be. Right. And so you see that playing out in the communities all over the country. But it's important for somebody to believe in you. I felt like this man, my father, believed so much in me and my exceptionalism that he said, I want you to be first. Right. I expect that of you. And me taking that in as a young black man changed my life, changed my outlook. No matter what the country said, there's somebody who I value, who I love, that expected greatness out of me. Right. And that's important.
And I really appreciate that, because that gives a viewer a front row seat to explain where you got your drive and determination and maintaining your manhood, and what level of discipline to stay true to that. Yeah. How that has also been the backdrop for you to go it. So I would like to know, can you let people know, like, when did you incorporate the Most High? When did that come into your manhood at a more front prioritized level, to where you were able to have people trust your leadership and to actually, because in the black community, right, all of our leaders have been shot down, shut up, and like, how is the past black men that you've watched take the leadership role? How do you look at your situation any differently? And is there any fear there?
Well, when I was doing police accountability, people felt like, man, they're going to try to kill you. I was like, there's nobody that can kill me. I have an assignment, and after I'm finished with the assignment, I'll go home on my own accord, right? But the difference is, and this is a very, very difficult thing. This makes you look like an outsider. What I mean by that is there are thought processes within our community about money, about what success is, right? I'm going to achieve success. And a lot of our people have been able to achieve a certain amount of success through entertainment, through sports, some businessmen, right? So I always say this. How I operate is with the mind of a conqueror. Follow me, okay? I don't operate with these two things that are elevated within our communities. What's elevated in our community is wealth, the rich man, and the other thing is the gangster. Like those things are like elevating big deals in our community, right? And I said, those two characters have different mindsets. A gangster has a mindset that he wants to let people know that he is that to fear him, that he can take you out of here, right? And he's tough and don't mess around with me. A rich man has to know how to maneuver. He has to know the secrets of capitalism, maybe how to trick you out of money or whatever, right? But he has to understand he moves a certain kind of way. Both those guys move a certain kind of way. And a lot of times those paths don't cross. Sometimes they do. But I'm saying the mindset of each one of those figures is something that we embrace in our community.
Right.
We know nothing about the mindset of a conqueror, right? Right. So I often, when I have a group, which I call culture, we're building culture back, which is called the remnant, right?
Right.
And what I teach, part of what I teach is a conqueror's mindset, because I've operated in that, right? Yeah. So what's the difference? Well, I often say, I want you to understand this. If you look throughout history and you see empires that existed, empires are like the United States is an empire. Mm-hmm. It's not just a country, it's an empire. Well, what do you mean? Well, historically, empires have conquered lands and people. That's what empires do. They conquer lands and people. Right. America have conquered lands and people. Right? Some of the people they conquer were our people. Mm-hmm. That's just the reality. That's what empires do, right? And so I said this, when a conqueror comes to a land, guess what's in the land? There are plenty wealthy men and plenty gangsters in the land when the conqueror comes, but the conqueror conquers them all. Right? So the mindset of the conqueror is elevated above the rich man and also above the gangster. Right. Because when the conqueror comes, I said there are gangsters and wealthy men in the land that have to succumb to the conqueror's mindset. We don't understand that. We've never seen that. Right? Yeah. So me operating in that makes me the outsider, like I said earlier. Right? What is he doing? I mean, they're unfamiliar by the way that I move. A lot of times in our community, because of how the conqueror moves, if you're not used to that, our community will look at that and say he thinks he's all that, or he thinks he's better than somebody else. Right? Yeah. Because they're conditioned to believe that we are not supposed to be in that thought process, to think of ourselves in that capacity. Right? They're conditioned to think with a slave mentality, or you're being too prideful. But if they seen a white man operate like that, they expect him to be that. They expect him to operate like a conqueror. It's acceptable to them. But for me, right, I'm prideful. I think I'm better than everybody, because that's the conditioning of the mind, right? Yeah. But I had to operate like a conqueror dealing with the system, because the system only respects power, right? So I'm the only one that have changed state law when it comes down to police accountability. No one has done it in the country, right? I led Washington State with a lot of other organizations, but under my leadership, because it started with my organization, not this time. And we led them and led Washington State and being the first and only state with a police accountability law, right? We changed the law. And not only is it changed, it's effective, because the first time in the history of Washington State, an officer was charged, convicted, and sent to prison. Now he's in prison right now doing 17 years because of the law that we got changed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But I did that with the mind of a conqueror. So I said that the system or the government don't respect victims. When I was coming to the community, I'm the outsider now because I'm thinking with the mind of a conqueror, but I'm coming to the community saying, we have to operate like this. And they're saying, all they're saying is to the government or to the system, why you guys keep doing this to us? This is unfair. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this? And I would say, brothers and sisters, they got into the position doing that to you. They're conquerors. They got into the position that they're in doing it to us. they're not going to respond to that because they expect you to be the victim that they made you to be. Right? So what they do respect is power. So what did I have to do? Well, I went to every community, the Latino community, the Asian Pacific Islander community, Samoans, the Latino community. And I said, listen, this system has obliterated us by ourselves.
Right.
But if you will join with me, right? If you join with me, they can't beat everybody.
Right.
And all the communities joined with me under my leadership.
Right.
They trusted me, right? And you know what that did? That made everybody come together because my little brother was killed by police, right? And each one of these communities had somebody affected the same way.
Right.
So from that police accountability that we brought forth, I showed every community you're not exempt from this. And I would tell them, this is not a Black problem. This is an American problem. You're not exempt. It's going to hit you too. So what I did is I put all those families from all those communities at the forefront and allowed them to tell their stories. So the white family was telling the same story that the Asian family was telling, the same story that the Latino family was telling, the same story that the Black family was telling. And so now what that did is it didn't have white people coming to fight for us. They're not coming to fight for Black people. Asians wouldn't come in to fight for Black people.
Right.
Every community was fighting for themselves.
Right.
Because I had to let them know you don't escape this.
Right.
But that's the mind of a conqueror.
Yeah.
So you understand?
Yeah.
But my community was like, who does he think he is? This, that, and the other. They were opposed to all the movement because all they could see was the streets that I came from.
Right.
Well, he used to be a pimp, or he used to do this and he used to do that. Well, Malcolm used to be a pimp too, but Malcolm X became a statesman.
Right.
Do you understand? So it has been known that sometimes God chooses his greatest servants out the mud, baby.
Right. Hey, I want to touch on this too, is that by being the man that you are, right, and your offspring, can you talk to us a little bit about how your children are sitting right now, and like with your leadership, how they've been able to exceed any expectation that the world might have put on a Black child? Can you kind of like go a little bit into what it took to actually take some of yourself and pour yourself into your children, and kind of give people a little bit of a picture of where your children are and how they've excelled?
So I used to always make this running joke that I had to have multiple children. I wanted a lot of children so my percentages will be good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
You feel me?
That's right.
So there are, I don't want to say success stories and non-success stories because everybody have their challenges. People will think because, well, let me say this, right? I often said I have to continue to do exceptional things in the country and in my own personal life so that I don't give my kids an excuse to fall back on my failures.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Right.
So they never can say my dad is a pimp and then it lets them off the hook.
Right.
Your dad went through there, conquered all that, right? And look where I'm at now. Look what I've achieved in the country that nobody else has, right? I've conquered the streets. I've conquered politics. I've conquered the system, right? So now they can go to their friends and to their co-workers and said, my father is responsible for changing laws in this country. The first man ever done it, and yada, 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 right? On police accountability, that is. So I have to continue to do exceptional things so I can keep them accountable. Right. I couldn't just come out here and say, I'm a pimp and that's it. I'll never be able to keep them accountable. So in that, sometimes the great work is very intimidating, right? For your child to walk into your footsteps. Right. So some of my children are dealing with that, but some of them have graduated from Yale. Some of them have graduated from UCLA. Do you see? So there are situations in which, and I can't take I would like to, I am their father, but I can't take the full credit for that because I believe that the scriptures say this. I call it a history book. I don't call it the Bible. I call it a history book because it's culture. It's not religion. That's another story. Every man must be persuaded in their own mind. No matter how much I say, no matter how much God can tell mankind, mankind still have to be accountable and listen and apply.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is not in the knowledge that a person has. It's how one applies that knowledge in their personal life.
Exactly.
So as long as they apply, they're going to have success.
Right.
Because, they have the blueprint.
Right.
But sometimes they want to be particle sons or particle daughters, and they
Right.
want to go and try to prove
veer off the path.
Well, they want to prove that they could do it their way.
Right.
But there's enough grace for me. So there are children that I have that are still trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
Children that have achieved certain things in life too. But all of them have the information. Yeah. None of them I left without the information. They can't say they don't know what to do.
Right.
When they choose to apply what I've been giving them, what they see work in my own life, it will then work in their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could I ask you another question? This is really pivotal for the people out there who refuse to enlarge their, who just seem to kind of just settle. I'd like to call them settlers, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's a whole community of people who are blind to the wisdom and knowledge that could set them free from that limited mindset that they're comfortable in. And can you kind of like give me a small example of like, how do we enlighten those people, or are they doomed to this limited lifestyle, limited mindset? Like, what do they have to expose themselves to? And like for me to change, there had to be a lot of pain.
Mm.
The pain of staying the same, right? I got to that place where I could no longer live with the thinking that I had, and either I was going to commit suicide or something else was going to happen. That was my extreme.
Sure.
So can you kind of like, if you could say something to the people, man, about what they're missing out on by not having a spiritual life, could you kind of shine the light on what a spiritual life has been able to enhance your whole, the whole man, who the man is? Can you kind of shine the light?
Let me just say this: knowledge within the community is not a premium. I'll explain that to you. Entertainment is a premium in our community, right? Mm-hmm. Sports is a premium in our community. Things that we gravitate to. Knowledge is not one of them. People will stand around the corner for the next mixtape or the next, that somebody's going to release.
Yeah.
Right. While other cultures will stand around the corner for the next enlightened book that has been written. Right. It's just it's not a premium. And so with the remnant and the things that I teach, I have to put this out there. I'm not here for everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not here for everybody. I'm only here for the remnant. Right? Why is that? When I do classes, I teach 5 days a week online. Well, one in person and all the rest online. And my classes cost because our people don't value anything that doesn't have a premium to it.
Right.
Right? If you give them something free, they won't value it. They won't value it. I would love just to say, here, just come get all this information, but they won't value it. So I say, listen, my information has value attached to it. You want it, you got to get in class.
Right.
If you don't want it, whoop-de-doo. There are people that will value, and I'm not here for all of you. Even God himself, right, is not here for everybody. Right? There's a certain amount of people that he said that he's going to get a hold of, and the rest will choose what they choose. Right. But what that does is it adds value. You got to teach value, right? So this is what I do. I say, this is what we do here. And the people that are a part of that, because I believe in receipts. I believe in the receipts, the evidence, right? One thing that's different, if I could say, there's a lot of churches and a lot of maybe mosques. There's a lot of things that have been said for a long time.
Right.
And people have not seen any change, right? Mm-hmm. I would think that at some point, we would have to hold institutions that have given us this information that have not shifted anything accountable.
Right.
So what I teach in the remnant is that Your life has to match your words, and your words have to match your life. And the only way you can protect yourself is that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody bring your words to the table, but I will bring my work to the table, right? And if you want to protect yourself from people who you just allow to speak into your life because they might be great orators or sound good, that's not good enough for you. People will continue to use us as a people. Right. You have to expect the evidence from the gate. Bro, you sound good, all that's great, but what have you produced? So that's what I do. I challenge. There's a lot of people out there talking, a lot of woke people, a lot of religious people always talking. So what I always challenge people, I say, have your philosophy changed your neighborhood? Has it changed your community? Has it changed your city? Or has it changed your state? Okay, well, why are you on the platform trying to spew or talk about your information if we can't see what it's done?
Bear fruit, right?
But if you ask me, I got the receipts to my information and what is accomplished. It has defeated systems, right? Mm-hmm. Me coming from the streets. My mom was a prostitute. My dad was a pimp. Coming from the impossible situation. Yet the mayor, the governor, even the President Trump called me. All these people submitted. Police chiefs, sheriffs, senators, all of them submitted up underneath my leadership.
Man, thank you so much, man. My brother, it's a blessing to have that. So we need to do an announcement. Okay, announcement we got is join us for the broadcast of police accountability with Seattle's Community Police Commissioner on this Thursday at 5 p.m. and the next week, Tuesday on the 30th at 5 p.m., followed by a town hall October 21st at 6 p.m. So I'm hoping that you guys can tune into that. If you have any questions about this episode, you can hit me at thoughtlife206@gmail.com. I hope that this episode has enlightened you and inspires you to actually look at your own thinking and see where there's room for improvement.
They can reach me at www.theremnant.world. Theremnant.world.
Also, he also has a Wednesday. Did you get that from me? That Rise of the Remnant every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Look for that. They go to what website again? www.theremnant.world. So theremnant.world, and all the information be there.
So what I can tell you about going there, because I went there on my birthday, man, that it was it took me to the deep end. See what I'm saying? So just be prepared to go deep, because this brother right here, man, come on, man. Okay. I just want to say one last thing to you, man, is that I don't trust a lot of people's judgment. Mm-hmm. I don't trust a lot of people with my life. But I can tell you with hands down, man, like, God has sent you in my path, man.
All praise to the Most High God.
To see what is possible, man. Because what had to happen for me, man, is that when I started this program, right, I wanted to reach out to people, man. And I knew that there was a desperate need for people to get out of their lost mindsets, man. And just like me staying true to this led me to you. I went to your situation. You remnant, and I went to a deeper level.
All praise.
So, like, man, it's been a God shot to me, man, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of me, man. I pretty trust to believe that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because one thing I know for sure is that, if you're a leader, you're only as good as your leader. And I trust you, man. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Thought Life. This has just been the most rewarding. I'm going to remember this one for the rest of my life, man, because this is just the start of something great. So keep tuning in to Thought Life 206gmail.com, man. Come check out the show. It's all for the betterment of all of us, man. When we think better, we live better, and we were able to live from a better space of mind. I want to thank Andre for coming through, man. Lifelong friend. And now he's my spiritual advisor. Yeah, gets to take that. I'm gonna take that. That's right. So God bless y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Pray out, baby.
That's right, baby.
Come on, man.
Not life.
That's right.
Victory's
Greatness,
anthem.
man, right here, man.